Hello, this is the Provoked Prawn, and this is the Corsair Virtuoso RGB wireless. This is a high-fidelity, high-quality, premium gaming headset from Corsair that is an interesting addition to their lineup of gaming headsets because the previous ones have always been a bit middling and not terribly interesting. Now, I've used the Void RGB and the Void RGB wireless and other gaming headsets from Corsair in the past and found them to be not that great. This one, however, on paper is incredibly interesting. It is a high-res, high-fidelity headset which supports 96 kHz 24-bit audio when plugged in via the accompanying USB-C cable to your PC, but it's also wireless. Now, it comes with the Corsair Slipstream wireless connectivity and a 3.5mm connector that allows you to connect to your mobile phone, Nintendo Switch, and anything else that has a 3.5mm jack on it. So it has plenty of different connection options, and that is another reason that's interesting. And I've gone into a bit of depth on this in the unboxing, and I've also done a versus video to compare it with the Astro A50, and I'm planning on doing one to compare it with the SteelSeries Arctis Pro wireless, because they are on a reasonable playing field in terms of being quite similar in that they're high-end headsets that offer different connection options. The Corsair Virtuoso is, for the most part, fantastic. Now, there are some problems with it that I'll go into in a bit more depth later on in the video, but I also want to highlight the reasons why it's interesting. Now, as I said, it has that 96 kHz audio if you plug it into your PC. Now, if you're not aware already, 96 kHz audio is fantastic for gaming. High-res headsets and wireless don't go hand in hand normally because you cannot get 96 kHz over wireless. I've seen several high-fidelity, high-res headsets in the past, my favourite of which was the SteelSeries Arctis Pro plus Game DAC, but I've seen some other ones from Audio Technica and such. And the reason it's great is because it gives you a much better clarity in gaming. You'll notice sounds you've not noticed before. Now, not only does it improve music and movies, but it also means that during gaming sessions you'll have much better spatial awareness, positional awareness, and you'll have a much better soundscape for your environment. And that is what Corsair delivers with this headset. It really changes the way you play and what you're hearing when you're playing a game. I noticed this greatly when playing Rainbow Six Siege in the past with the Arctis Pro plus Game DAC, and this has the same effect when playing games like Cuisine Royale. Suddenly you're noticing a lot more sounds that you didn't notice before, but also you're able to pick up directional audio a lot easier. Now, it does 96 kHz when it's plugged in via USB-C, but it also works when plugged in via the wireless dongle to give you 40,000 Hz. Now, that isn't completely unusual. You do occasionally see it, but for comparison's sake, the Astro A50 wireless only has 20,000 Hz as the maximum frequency response. So even in wireless mode, you get a better frequency response from this headset than most other wireless headsets, which means the sound is still great even when you're not wired. Now, you've got to question why you'd choose to go wireless when you have the option of having the 96 kHz, but obviously the Slipstream wireless dongle means you can plug it into any compatible machine and instantly connect using that technology to have wireless wherever you are. It also means it's more comfortable and you don't have this cable tugging at you the whole time, which is obviously a bonus. Now, the design of the headset, as you'll see, is very premium. It's got nice faux leather padding on the earcups and on the headband, as you can see, and it sits reasonably comfortably on the head. It also has some flex in the headband here, and you can turn and twist the earcups. You'll also note you can extend the headband, although it doesn't get terribly large, and I'll talk about comfort a bit later on as well, because that's obviously an important part of it. One downside I have noticed is that there is an occasional squeak in the headset when you turn the earcups or move it off your head, which could get a bit annoying, but it might be just my version that's doing it, and perhaps you won't find the same problem. It could just be a freak occurrence. Otherwise, the Virtuoso has a very high quality premium design to it. These faux leather ear cups do an excellent job of blocking out external noise. The microphone also, as you can see, is an excellent quality. I am recording the voiceover for this video using this microphone, and they say it is a broadcast quality microphone. It's also detachable, and it has a mic mute button underneath. You'll notice too, the LED ring around the outside is lit green when it's in use, and if you press the mute button it will turn red. And you'll also get an audible notification in the headset when it's plugged in that you've done that in mic on, mic off. You can also press and hold that mic mute button to turn the side tone on and off, which is pretty cool, and it's worth briefly covering that as well. Now, this headset is compatible with Corsair's IQ software, and from there you can adjust a number of different EQ settings. You can turn 7.1 virtual surround sound on and off. You can adjust the microphone volume and the side tone, and you can change the RGB lighting. You'll notice on both Earcups it has RGB lighting. This can be changed, as you'd expect, in a number of different ways with various different patterns and schemas available as usual. You can also link that up with other Corsair peripherals. One thing I will note is that it is incredibly bright and you don't seem to be able to adjust the brightness. Perhaps that's something they'll fix in a later firmware update, but it is very bright. Obviously that's not a problem when you're wearing it because you can't really see it, but I did found like on it when it's on my desk and when I was trying to do video, it was very, very bright. Minor niggle, not really a massive problem. Generally speaking, this is a fantastic headset to use and it's joyful. However, I will note that personally, I've found the Earcups are perhaps verging on being a little bit small. Do find, you can see the size of my ears, I've found that the Earcups press down on my ears and I can feel the drivers pressing against them too. Now this doesn't happen immediately, it usually takes a few hours for it to get uncomfortable, which isn't necessarily a problem. Now I use this headset during testing throughout the day, listening to music while working and then playing games at night, and I've found after a few hours it does start to weigh in terms of pain on the ears, and you're certainly not as comfortable as the likes of the Astro A50 or the Astro A40. Also, if you're looking for incredibly deep Earcups and comfort in that direction, please check out the Turtle Beach headsets. I've done a couple of videos on those headsets and they are fantastic. Now, another thing of note that isn't immediately obvious with this headset is that it supports USB-C to USB-C connections. For some reason, Corsair's decided not to include a USB-C to USB-C cable in the box, which is a bit odd, and they've not mentioned in the reviewer's guide, and probably not in the gumph that comes with the headset, that it can connect this way. Now this is useful because it means that you can connect to your phone via USB-C to USB-C cable. I managed to dig out a reasonably long Oculus cable that I had that was USB-C on both ends and test it out, and I can confirm that it does work. So that means if you have a phone that doesn't have a 3.5mm jack, there's no need to fret because you can still connect that way. You can also connect to your PC via USB-C to USB-C. And that is another point of note that I will make quickly. I have found that the supplied USB-C cable that comes with the headset is a bit short. It is only 1.5 meters, which for me isn't long enough. This is currently plugged into the front of my PC, which is only just over that way, and it's not very far away, but it's already sort of tugging. You can see the tension in it, which is unfortunate. The other downside to this is it's very noisy. I found that when it's rubbing against my shirt, I can hear that in the Earcup. Now, I'll see if I can demonstrate that and see if it gets picked up by the mic. Not sure if you'll be able to hear that or not, but it is quite annoying, and that means if you're turning your head or something like that, you suddenly find you're hearing that noise a lot. I have managed to compensate for that by switching out for the other USB-C cable that I had that's rubber and longer, and so that noise goes away, but the fact you can hear it inside the Earcup is kind of irritating. Obviously I could ditch the wire and go wireless, but I do like having the 96 kHz audio. It is fantastic, and That's the main reason to get this headset. Another downside is they've not included the Bluetooth connectivity in it, so you can connect to your PC via USB-C cable. You can use the 3.5mm jack, you can use the wireless dongle, but you cannot connect to Bluetooth devices, which is a real shame. I wish they'd included that, because the SteelSeries Arctis Pro Wireless, for example, includes both wireless connectivity and Bluetooth connectivity, and you can use both at the same time, so you could connect your headset to your phone and to your computer at the same time, so you could watch YouTube videos or listen to music on your phone while also having game audio playing if you were waiting for a match to start, or if people had died in a battle royale game and you're waiting for them to win. You cannot do that with this headset. However, it does have a multitude of connection options, and it will connect to several different devices, so it is still very appealing, and it's excellent in that way, and that's something that you don't see on other devices much. Other points of note is there's no charging base station as there is with the likes of the Astro A50. Now this headset apparently does support up to 20 hours of battery life, which is pretty impressive, and you're unlikely to use it. And obviously if you remember to plug it in, that's not going to be an issue, but it's not like you're docking it with like you would with the Astro A50 every night, so it will get charged, so you will have to remember to plug it in. However, if you're using it with the high res audio, then it's going to be plugged in regularly anyway. Quick point of note that I've had a problem with on my headset at the moment, and they might change it, is when it's plugged in, it's also charging, obviously. Now, you get some audio warnings within the headset that let you know various things. It'll tell you when you've switched to surround sound on and off within iCue. It'll let you know where the mic's muted, when the side tone's on, and when it's reached full charge. It's this last one that is a bit of a frustration. When you reach full charge, you'll say, "Charge complete," and you'll get that notification occasionally, even when it's been plugged in constantly, like the battery is depleting slightly, and then "charge complete." And why is that happening? That's odd. Now this could be a firmware thing that they'll roll a fix out for in the short term, or again, perhaps it's just a freak occurrence with my headset. It's not a problem. It's also worth noting that you don't get those audible warnings when in wireless mode. So depending on how you're using it, it might or might not be a problem, but it's a very minor niggle. As you can see, I'm picking very few holes with this headset because I do really like it. If I was creating a list of the best gaming headsets to buy, the Corsair Virtuoso would certainly be up there. For the amount of money that you're paying, you get a very high premium quality design. You also get a fantastic audio experience. Having the ability to connect to your PC wirelessly or switch into wired mode for 96 kHz is pretty amazing. You don't see that on other headsets. You certainly don't see it on the SteelSeries Arctis Pro Wireless or the Astro A50, neither of those headsets. As I said, the Astro A50 only tops out at 20,000 Hz, and I believe the SteelSeries maybe tops out at 40. Now, if you're plugged in, you get 96 kHz. If you're wireless on PC, it says 48 kHz for this headset. The reviewer's guide said it was only 40,000 Hz, so I'm not sure which is right. However, I will say both plugged in and wireless, the audio quality is excellent. The positional awareness, direction finding is also excellent as well. It's got great surround sound, and you can obviously customize with a number of different EQ settings, and you can customize that yourself, tweaking the individual settings within iCue software and save that as a profile. Unfortunately, you cannot switch the surround sound on or off with this headset. As you'll note, there is only the volume wheel and the button to switch between wireless and wired mode, and the mic mute button. You cannot change between the EQ settings. You cannot turn surround sound on and off from there. You do have to open up the Corsair software, which is a bit of a weird oversight. Although, to be honest, I found the quality wasn't necessarily a problem, and I wasn't constantly switching between the two anyway, and for the most part, as a gamer, I'm basically using 7.1 all the time. So once you've got it set the way you like it, you probably won't be changing it very much anyway, unlike other headsets I've tried where you do perhaps want to switch a bit more often. All in all, the Corsair Virtuoso is a really good headset and very, very responsive, with a decent battery life that I've not managed to run out even when using it in wireless mode, an excellent microphone, and a lot more to offer. The downsides, as I said, are definitely the comfort. The Astro A50 is incredibly comfortable and a much more comfortable headset to wear despite having lower audio responses. Also, the docking station on that makes charging a lot easier. It is odd, as I've said, that they've included such a short USB-C cable. That is kind of annoying. The 1.5 meters is just not enough for me. The Astro A40 had 3 meter cables on it, and I really like that. If you're going to have cables, they should be at least 2 meters in my mind. Obviously, that's going to depend on your setup. If I was using this with a laptop that was right in front of me, it wouldn't be a problem. But if you have a big desk, or if you have your computer on the floor, or somewhere tucked out of the way, then it's not as good. However, the fact that you could use another cable with it is fantastic. The ability to connect to your phone via USB-C is also good. That is overlooked a lot with a lot of modern headsets. They come with a 3.5mm jack, and the manufacturers claim that you can use that to connect to your phone. What they don't realise is most modern smartphones are now ditching 3.5mm ports, so basically you cannot do that and it's useless. I have this 3.5mm cable included with the Corsair Virtuoso that probably won't get used very often. It might be used for testing purposes, but I don't have many other 3.5mm devices that I want to plug into. Whether you do or not is obviously going to be a different thing entirely. Now, whether you choose this headset over the others that I've talked about is obviously a matter of personal preference, whether you think comfort or sound quality is more important. However, I certainly would recommend the Corsair Virtuoso RGB wireless. It is a fantastic gaming headset. Hope you found this video useful. Thanks for watching. This has been the Provoked Prawn. Hope you found this video useful, interesting or hilarious. Be sure to subscribe and check out these other videos, as well as taking a look in the description for links and other information you might find useful. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or anything you'd like to see extra about this, and have a great life.